With the WPL playoffs upon us next week, let's take a look at some of the schools that would be considered both the favorite and a top contender in each of the 6 classifications. Starting in 6A, Central is the clear-cut top team in the class all season. The Vikings have dominated competition since losing their season opener against St. John's College Prep. The question is, will they be challenged? If there is a challenger, it's most likely North Allegheny, which is also the last WPL team to beat Central Catholic when they beat them last year in the regular season. Moving down to Class 5A, West Allegheny locked up the conference and most likely the top overall seed with an emphatic win over Woodland Hills. Under Bob Pelko, the Indians have won 7 WPIL Class AAA titles. Now they're seeking their first in 5A. West Allegheny's main contender could be Armstrong, led by running back Zane Dudek, who has set WPIL single game and regular season rushing records, and he's also one of the WPIL's top overall players. In 4A, it seems to be a 2-horse race between Thomas Jefferson and South Fayette. The frontrunner would be TJ, who has destroyed every opponent it's faced this season, winning the first 8 games by an average of almost 50 points. As for South Fayette, they've moved up 2 classes from Class 2A to 4A, but the Lions have proved their mettle in this new class right off the bat by beating perennial contender Central Valley in Week 1 and have kept their undefeated season rolling all year long. In Class 3A, there are multiple teams who could be considered leading contenders in the classification, but the top team might be one of the ones you're watching tonight, the Beaver Bobcats. Looking for a dark horse in this playoff race? How about Keystone Oaks, which is led by the WPIL's leading passer and senior Alex Smith, a Duquesne recruit. The Golden Eagles went toe-to-toe with Beaver in Week 3, losing 77-49 and setting a WPIL record for most total points scored in a single game. In Class 2A, the obvious favorite is Steel Valley. Behind monster senior years from Dwayne Murray and Paris Ford, the Ironmen have crushed their competition on their way to an undefeated record. The closest margin in any of their wins was 34 points. Steel Valley's main competition in 2A would probably be Wash High. The Little Prexies are also unbeaten, and none of their games have been very close. Finally, in the smallest classification, Clairton is easily the team to beat, as the Bears have been for most of the past decade, when they won 8 titles in the last 10 years. Probably the only team that can match up with Clairton is Jeanette, and these Eastern Conference rivals actually play tonight, and if Giovanni Sanders and Kareem Hall have anything to say about it, it will most likely not be their last meeting this season, which would make it a rematch of last year's WPL final. Both 1A and 2A will have 16-team playoff formats, with the WPL Championship games being played November 26th at Robert Morris University's Joe Walton Stadium. However, Class 3A through 6A will have only 8-team playoff formats, and their 4 championship games will be played November 18th at Heinz Field. You can watch all 4 of those championship games right here on Root Sports.